Hi, it's Beverly Cole. Welcome to my studio. Well, today I'm not in my studio. I'm actually down the hall in my office where my computer is, and I'm sitting at my computer to share with you how I use the free download Apache OpenOffice to print out my digital stamps and papers. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how to layer your digital images, how to resize, move them around, how to move them back to the background, move them to the foreground, and stay tuned to the end to see the finished card. So let's get started with this. When you open up OpenOffice, and I will put the link below for you to find OpenOffice. You won't need OpenOffice if you have Microsoft Word, but I don't, so I use OpenOffice. Like I said, it's free. And if it's free, it's definitely for me. Okay, so when you open it up, you get a choice of different things to use. Okay, I choose drawing. So I'm going to click once on drawing, and my page will open up. And here is my page. It has the margins marked here. And I can change those by going up here to Format and Format Page, and then I can change the margins. But we're not going to do that today. I just want to show you where it is. Now also, over here on View, I can add a grid, display grid, that kind of helps me move things around. So I click on Display Grid, and here is my grid. Now this is 1/2 inch measurements, so I know for every 2 is an inch. Okay, so we're going to make a card front totally digital. And so I'm going to first open up my main picture, which today I'm going to use the cactus from Southwest Garden. So I go up here to Insert, click on that, and go down to Picture, and over here from File, because I have my stamps in a file. When you get digital stamps, you put them in a file on your computer. And please let me know in the comments if that's something that you would like to see how to do. I don't mean to assume anything, but you may already know how to do that. And so we're going to go on from there. Now here, I opened up Southwest Garden, and these are all of my stamp images. And when you purchase this is how they come in a zip file, and you unzip your zip file. And that's another thing I can show you how to do if you're not sure how to do that. Just leave me a comment, and I'd be glad to make a video showing you how to do that. Now, all of the images in this set come in JPEG, which has the white background, and PNG, which has no background. The first one in the set of 2 images here is always the JPEG, because they are in alphabetical order. So you have J comes before P. So this is a JPEG with the background. The PNG has no background. Even though it looks like it does here, it doesn't. Now I want to start with my cactus with the background. It has a little bit of ground around it, colored in. This one does not. See, no background. So I'm going to click on this. Now there's 2 ways. You can double click, or you can click once and select it and go down here to open. And this will add your chosen image to your page. Now depending on the size of the file, will depend on how big this appears on your page. And I don't want it this big. I want to make it, this is like an 8.5 by 11 size. I want it card size, so I'm going to shrink it. Now the way you shrink it is you make sure it's selected, which means you have all these little green squares around the edge. That means it's selected. See, when I click over here, it's not. If I click here even, it's not. You have to click on the actual image to get it to be selected. So here we have the selected image. And then I hold down the Shift key on my keyboard. With my left finger, I'm going to hold down the Shift key while I do this. Then I'm right-handed, so I'm talking like I'm right-handed. I'm going to hold down the left button on my mouse, hold it down while I drag my image. So the Shift key is being held, and I'm dragging my image with my mouse left button. and I want to make it small enough for a card. Now if I measure this from here, if I touch right here, you can see over here it's going to show me where it is. So here, well, it's about 5 inches tall. It's about 4 and a quarter across, maybe a little smaller. So I'm going to hold down my shift key again and make it, hold on the lift key and drag it smaller. And that looks good. Now I'm going to let go my shift key, and here's the little arrow. Now when you are selected like this, you can move this anywhere you want on the page with that little, with your left mouse key. When you have the little cross, see the little crossed arrows? Okay. Now to deselect, I just click off, and you'll see it's not selected. Click on it, it's selected. Click off it, it's deselected. Okay, so this is pretty much where I'm going to put it a little lower, which I just select it and move it there. Now I want to add to my picture, so let's go back, insert picture from file, click on it, and it's going to bring me right back where I was in the file I was in. Here's my cactus flower JPEG. See, if you move your arrow, your mouse over, hover over it, it'll tell you if it's a PNG or a JPEG. But remember, it's alphabetical order, so it's always going to have the JPEG on the left side and the PNG on the right. And you'll know if you pick the wrong one. Let's say, for instance, okay, let's pick this one, and whoops, I picked the wrong one, but I'm not aware of it. I picked the JPEG. Watch this. The JPEG has a background. Do you see that? Now I'm going to hold on my shift key on my keyboard, and I'm going to drag smaller. But no matter how small I make it, I'm going to have that white background because it's a JPEG. So I'm just going to go to my keyboard where it says delete and hit delete, and it'll remove it. So let's go back to insert picture from file and pick the correct one. That would be this one. I'm going to double click on it and it appears. Okay, need to make it smaller. Hold down the shift key. Now if I don't hold down the shift key, watch what happens. Okay, I'm not holding down the shift key on my keyboard, and I drag this down, and look what happens. I can change the measurements. It changes the image when you don't hold down the shift key. So I'm going to just delete that and do it again. Insert picture from file. It's just easier than going back and back. So let's open that one again. And this is the JPEG, I mean the PNG, I'm sorry. Hold down the shift key, make it smaller. Okay, look how small I can, I mean, it's so cool. Now I'm going to move it, just click on it with my left button on my mouse, move it where I want it. Okay, now I want another one. I could go back in and take another one out of my file, but another way to do it is to select just the flower, right? Control button on your keyboard, hold it down and hit C for copy. Then hold down the control button, that's CTRL button on your keyboard, and hit V. That will copy. So it's C to copy, V to paste. Now I've got an extra, look at that, an extra flower. And I can put it anywhere I want. So I'm going to move it up here, but I don't want it facing that direction. I want it facing to the left. So what I can do is, now that it's still selected, right click with my mouse, and this drop screen comes down, drop little box comes down, and I can go down here to arrange, then over to here to send backward, and it sends it behind my cactus. So I can move it behind my cactus. Oh, but I was showing you first how to change the direction. I'm sorry. Right click, flip horizontally, and it changes the direction, and it's in the back because I moved it to the back. Now I want to make it smaller, so I'm going to hold down my shift key again on my keyboard and just drag, hold down that left button on my mouse pad, and I can resize, and then let go of everything, and I can move it around just with the key on my left key on my mouse. Okay. Just so picky. Okay, so there. Now, sorry, that was my phone. Okay, so okay, I'll move that over a little bit. I'm using the arrows on my keyboard. You can also use the right and left arrows, up and down arrows, to move your images a little bit. So I'm using my left there. Okay, now that's good. Now I want to add a sentiment. So I'm going to go back in here to Insert, Picture from File, and I'm going to choose a sentiment. But I decided I don't want to use one from this set, so I'm going to go up one level to All Stamps. We're in Southwest Garden. I want to go to All Stamps. I can do it two different ways. Hit All Stamps, or I can use the arrow. So I'm going to go up one. Okay, and back to, let's see, let's choose the Koi Pond options. And I'm going to use It's a Beautiful Day, and I like the one without the line underneath. And you see these are JPEG, PNGs, means they have no background, see? Okay, so this is smaller already. Now by just clicking on the black, see if I click on the white, nothing happens. But if you click on the black, you can move it. So just click, left click, and whoops, I didn't grab it. There we go. Left click and drag. Okay. And then I'm going to add a background. So again, Insert, Picture from File, and I want a background paper. So I'm going to go into my background papers, which I keep in my Etsy file. And choose a retro fun paper. Okay, so let's choose the oval dots. Now if I want it to look, see this bar up here, you can move this around. You may already know this. If you use a computer at all, you may know that if you click on that top bar on a window, you can move it out of your way. So I'm going to move it down here so I can see which paper I like the best. I kind of like this multi-background. I think I'll pick that one. Okay. So it's going to be the size that it is saved in, and this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of background paper. Now there's two ways I can change this to fit my card. One is to hit crop right up here. What that's going to do, you just grab a corner down here. You have this little crop picture. So you get these little blue squares, and then this has a crop icon instead of the arrow. And you're going to hold down your left key, and this will cut your paper. You're cropping it, so it's cutting. So your arrows, your design stays the same size. Click off of it back to the arrow up here, and you can once again hold down your Shift key and make it bigger or smaller to fit your card. What I'm noticing is it's in front of everything. So the way to change that is, again, right click on your mouse, and again you have this drop down screen. Go to Arrange again. Send backwards. Well, we're going to send it all the way back. So we go to Send it back. And everything is in front of it. Now it's that's a little bit of a big pattern for me. I'm not sure I like that. So let's go back, edit, undo, go back to our original size. And instead of cropping it, we're going to resize. So you're going to hold down your Shift key with your left hand on your keyboard, or right hand if you're left-handed, and then using your left button on your mouse again, hold it down and drag this up. And you'll notice that instead of cropping it or cutting it, you are resizing. So I'm still holding on my button so I can make it a little bigger. Let go and I can move it. Still needs to, so I'm going to hold down my Shift key. It needs to be a little bigger. Make it just the right size. There we go. And then again, how do we get it to the back? Right click, Arrange, Send to Back. Now, that's a lot going on. So I decided I want to change my background and make it lighter, which means I'm going to add some transparency to it to lighten it up. Click on it. And up here, you'll notice this little glass. That is for transparency. When you hover over it, you'll see transparency. Over here, we're going to select, we're going to go up. The numbers will go up. Use the up arrow because right now it's at 0 transparency. Can't see through it at all. So we're going to click on the up arrow, and I'm going to hit it. You won't see any change until you let go. So this is 27%. You can see how light it is already. Let's see what happens at 50%. This is 50%. The background has lightened up. So you can go really, really light. Click on the background. You can go lighter and lighter. And let's get rid of that so we can see it better. Let's get rid of the grid. There we go. And you can see, you can make a nice light background. If you go all the way to 100, it's just totally gone. It's at 100% transparency. You can see all the way through it. So we can make it really light. You can make it darker. You can make it darker. I think I like it right there. Okay, so there's our background. Now, I decided I want to add something that I can cut out and add, okay? So I can see how it's going to look before I cut it out by doing this. Let's deselect everything and go over here to Insert Image again. Insert Picture from File. And I want to go back to Southwest Garden and choose, let's choose a hat. Okay, so here's the hat. And it's too big, so I'm going to hold down my Shift button on my keyboard, just make it smaller, about that size. Good. Now, let's see, what will it look like? I could put it there. I think it needs to be a little smaller. Shift. There. Put it there. Put it up here. Now, to tip this, if you click on this again, left click on your mouse, it turns all the little green squares to red circles. And you'll see this little arrow come over it here. You also have a point in the middle. The point in the middle is it's like the axis. That's where everything will move from. So click here, turn it to red, and hit the little red button and drag, and you can tip your hat. Like that. Isn't that cute? So we can do one hat. We could put two hats. How about if we put two hats? I think if we put two hats, that might be kind of cool. But let's say we want to make a blue hat, and maybe you could make a red hat by doing this. Make sure nothing is chosen. Insert Picture from File. Okay, so this means this is going to have to be colored by you. All right, so we're going to choose. It could be this hat. The JPEG won't matter because you're going to put it on the plain page. But I tend to like using PNGs all the time anyway, just to get used to it. And this way I can measure it. What I mean by that is I can make it the same exact size as that one by doing this. Hold down your Shift key, resize, right? Resize, and then move it up here, tip it, and click it again till it's green. Hold on your Shift key, and you can move it around until it's exactly covering that hat. Now this could be good for two things. This one, we're going to drag it down here now, and this one will be colored. You'll color that one to be pink, okay? And we'll put the pink one down here. We could do a blue one though, and cut it out and layer it over this blue one and make it look 3D. So I'm going to right click, copy. Remember I did the Control button and hit C for copy? Well, another way you can do it is right here. Right click and make this screen appear and hit copy. Then right click again and hit paste. And now you have two blue hats. So we could do this. Okay, so you have one here, and you can cut that one out, and you can cut this one out. And then you can paste them where you want them. Now, if you want to have a place to put this one too, Control copy, paste, and you have a white one. And you can put this on your card. And you can decide exactly where you want it. Good thing about that is that you have it right where you want it before you try to figure it out. Oh, I don't know. Do I like it there? Do I want it, here later? And when you've got it all cut out and ready to go, it just makes it easier. But I'm not going to do that today. So I'm going to just delete it. And we have our two hats. So you have hats to cut out. You have your card. And you just print this. So let's see. I'm going to put some paper in my printer, cardstock, in my printer, and depending on the kind of printer you have will make a difference about, the kind of paper. I have to modify mine again, make sure. Oh, it's right. Okay. Paper's all set. I made sure my printer's set for thick, plain paper, which is what this cardstock is. Then I'm going up here to File, Print. And I check all of my stuff here. I want the original colors. And then I just hit, it's going to print. So here it goes. And I want to show you. And we'll put this card together. And you will see the card on my blog.